Hey there, everybody. This is Darshana Avila, somatic sex and intimacy coach. And I am coming to you from the official close of Power to the P, this incredible journey that I have been on. And I know many of you out there have taken for yourselves to commit to a very intentional, mindful masturbation, self pleasuring practice for these last 4 weeks. And it has been a really fantastic and rich and at times challenging and frustrating ride, which I must say, if I had any expectations, that just about meets it. Anytime we are going into greater intimacy with ourselves, deepening into connection to whatever is there in our physical bodies and our emotional and energetic bodies, it stands to reason that we're probably going to come up against a whole wide variety of experience, different flavors and textures of our beings, things that have been disowned or kind of just, pushed to the side because we weren't ready or didn't have the tools or the spaciousness, whatever it might be, to tend to those pieces of ourselves, as well as the chance to just really get to know, like, what turns me on and how do I want to engage and make love to this body of mine and this spirit of mine. So I really do feel like I got to accomplish that. And then funny enough, this morning, my jet lag had me up super, super early, and that spaciousness was a beautiful opportunity for me to just find myself suddenly like moving toward pleasuring without it even really having been intentional. I was laying in bed. It was super, super early, and I was delighted and just had to laugh about the timing and the irony of it all. I Today was the one day in this practice that I very quickly and with minimal effort, and by which I mean like minimal like physical stimulation, had like such a yummy clitoral orgasm, which is by no means like the staple of my self-pleasuring. And it's something that I've had some frustration around, frankly, because I'm like, I want to be able to do that for myself. And it has not been part of my normal flow. So wouldn't you know that just laying there, really just taking my time when I did move toward genital touch and stimulation, I started consciously using some different breathing techniques that have been part of this orgasmic yoga practice that I've been engaged in. And before I knew it, I'm just in this bath of delicious sensation rippling out through my body, as I had not one but two like super yum orgasms. And I had to laugh, like I said, because that was just not necessarily how I was experiencing myself. And I love that now that the journey has officially closed, I wake up this morning and that's what's there for me. And that is definitely indicative of something that I have learned. A big lesson and a takeaway is that creating space and time and dropping ideas and expectations and agendas is so, so, so essential. And even though I intellectually have known that all along, for sake of this practice and the busyness of my schedule, there were definitely days where it was like, okay, here's my 30-minute window. Let's get this done. And that's just not sexy. That doesn't feel relaxing. That doesn't invite me into a really deep dive dance with myself. So when you have the opportunity to create that spaciousness and just be there, show up with yourself, for yourself, without a particular agenda about what has to happen, other than just intending to enjoy. It's incredible what happens in those opportunities. And another thing that I really want to emphasize again is the importance of diversity in how we're engaging with ourselves. So this isn't just about orgasm, and it's not just about stimulating your clitoris if you have one, or jerking off if you've got a penis, or whatever it might be that is more of like that very default standard of what masturbation is about. A conscious self-pleasuring practice could be the way you're communing with nature or eating delicious foods, smelling beautiful scents, whatever it is to really commune with sense pleasure, to take your time and deeply, deeply appreciate what's around you, to dance and to move your body, to put yourself in water, to do a full-bodied self-massage. All of this is essential to a really healthy, robust, vibrant self-pleasuring practice. It's not just about the way we connect with our genitals. And then when it comes time for that, diversity is also key. To have that spirit of curious awareness and to be creative, to be adventurous with your own self, to be willing to try something new, if for no other reason than just in the interest of learning. Okay, maybe I don't like that thing. Great, now I know. So that there's always something to be gained, and including the whole of ourselves, internally, externally, our genitals, our anuses, the whole of our bodies, our breasts if we have them, whatever you can get your hands on is an opportunity. It's fodder for more pleasure and more sensation in your body. So really just instilling the importance of being creative, getting outside of your proverbial box, as it were, and letting yourself be surprised and delighted by what you find there. And if something was like a so-so as opposed to a full no, be willing to try it again. Particularly as our hormonal cycle is unfolding, that was another big takeaway for me, was to really track just how distinct my libido and my desire was at different times of the month in accordance with where my lunar cycle was. And that's a huge one for those of us who are still in our fertile years and menstruating and going through those big hormonal fluctuations. Although it's not exclusive to us, we all go through shifts, regardless of our gender, regardless of where we are biologically. It's something that we do have to give consideration to, that we're not always going to be rip roaring ready to go. And at the same time, we're also not always going to not want it. There's a whole lot of bandwidth to play in between there. And so to give just some consideration for that. So I will definitely be keeping this practice going, if not on a daily basis, then as often as I possibly can. And I am diving into like the intensive part of this training and really excited on the way that sexological body work has been showing up in the sessions that I've been holding over this last month already. Has just been so enriching for me as a practitioner, and certainly has touched and opened up some beautiful pathways for my clients. I'm really loving it. And if there's any which way that I can support you, obviously there's the hands-on component, but there's also coaching that I offer that goes beyond that. And so even if you're at a physical distance and you're feeling called to connect, reach out. You can find more information on my website, darshanaavila.com. And there will be more videos to come, many, many topics to touch into in these great realms of sex and intimacy and relationship. I look forward to those explorations, and I wish you well as you awaken more ecstasy into your everyday and enjoy this body and this breath and these sensations that you are so blessed to be able to enjoy. Thank you for taking this journey, and take amazing care of yourself. Be well.